Hi, James Mandolare here. How you doing? Thanks a lot for subscribing to my channel, for liking my videos, and for commenting. Uh, I don't have a ton of subscribers, but I'd like to thank you for subscribing and try to explain a little bit of what it's all about here on this James Mandolare's YouTube channel. Uh, I am a mystic, a writer, an artist, folk singer, preacher, essayist, poet, traveler. I've done a lot. I'm 65 years old. I live here in Albany, New York, and I've enjoyed quite a life of mysticism. I know there's many of you modern folks out there, probably not subscribed to my channel, that don't believe in mysticism, that believe that it's antiquated or foolish or infantile. Wishful thinking. But I've had a different experience, and, you know, spiritual perception is usually quite subjective. It depends on the person and their own personal experience. But I have had instances where my mystical point of view was undeniably shown to me by what happens in the outside world. Many of the visions that I've had uh, were caused by things that there was no way I would have known about. For instance, one time I felt the ghost of someone who had recently died in a fire in the kitchen. I was just standing there looking at the sunset, and all of a sudden I had this vision of a woman and a child in my imagination. It wasn't anything I saw in the room or anything like that. It was just in my imagination. But when later I said to my host, never been in the house before, had this really strange and intense feeling, and he said, a woman and a child died in a fire in front of the stove there before I moved in. They fixed it all up and everything. And other people had seen him in the house before. They'd seen him in the kitchen. They've seen apparitions. Now, I didn't see anything. I just felt something overwhelming, emotional sadness and regret. And it was so overpowering that I mentioned it to him. Oh, I didn't know. I was just visiting. And the baptism of blood, after I saw a vision of my sister the day after she was murdered, dancing on the clouds, gave me a wave, looked me in the eye, gave me a smile, stepped through a golden doorway in the sky and was gone. Most mystical thing I ever experienced. It really did kind of put me out of this world. One foot in the spirit world, as I like to say in one of my songs. I was in deep grief, of course. I wasn't really, myself, but and I feel I even felt a Pentecostal flame above my head at my sister's wake, where my head seemed to explode. Uh, it was almost like an inverted pyramid. It felt like a buzzing or humming vibration of an inverted pyramid that went from the point at the top of my head to infinity. And I feel that was my baptism. Later on, it may have been the next day, I was walking with Michelle, as I said, and as we were walking, I said, every car that goes by us will be red. And if you've watched my videos, you know that 9 red cars went by us as we walked from my brother's house to the cemetery. And when we got there, there was actually a 10th car, red car, in the field. The farmer had driven out to the field. I mean, now, there was one time when I saved a woman from jumping off a bridge in Boston, walking back from that, brought her back home, saved her life. And as I was walking home after that, a whole plaza below me, as I was walking over a bridge, it was a plaza below me. I was in the city of Boston. And it filled up with yellow Volkswagens, yellow Volkswagen bugs. This was back in the 78. And ever since then, I've noticed the yellow bug here or there when certain things happen. And what I'm trying to say to you is that I believe, and it's since these things happened in the outside world beyond my control, they actually did happen, and they were witnessed by other people. And there have been many synchronicities, as you know, by watching my channel, that I'm trying to say that there is a presence a cosmic personality to reality that we're all part of. I like to think of the galaxies, threads, and clusters as this cosmic mind of the universe, and that we're all a part of that. As I told an elder once when she asked me what I thought God was, God is consciousness, inner awareness. The sense of being within us is divine and divinely inspired. We all share at the center of our being this oneness with the cosmos, and it interacts with us in this way. If you open yourself up to the possibility of cosmic coincidences, or even in some extreme cases, such as mine, where you actually experience this presence in the world through symbolic coincidences, synchronicities that are very personal. They have, it's like a private joke between you and the universe. And sometimes, apparently, if you're mystical, you can call these things up and make them happen. But what it proves is that this world is a psychological construct. It's created by us in order to play out an eternal game of souls. Think about it. If you were God and the angels came to you and said, this first creation of sitting around singing your praises in this spiritual dimension of pure energy and light is wonderful. But, it's been a few billion years and we're getting a little bored, and we thought maybe you might want to come up with something else that can entertain us for eternity. It's a tough job, but I think, you being the almighty oneness of the universe, the pure and divine, ever-loving consciousness that has no ego and is always extended outward from itself, this glowing light, the silent one I call it in my novels. Can't you come up with something? Now, if you think about it, the idea of reincarnation, a cyclic, ever reoccurring experience of being a physical creature in this reality, is the ultimate game of souls. And there must be enough happening to enthrall and entertain a soul forever. So God created the human experience, the cyclic human experience, where we have to forget consciously each lifetime and having our previous soul experience inform each lifetime as latent talents and natural proclivities and interests that are built up over eons of time in our unconscious. But the conscious self, the ego-centric, moment-centered being, forgets each lifetime in order to function. Otherwise, we would be swamped with memories of past lifetimes and wouldn't be able to function. There must be death, sickness, loss, pain, as well as pleasure, joy, wisdom, enlightenment, all that good stuff, pleasure. It has to be a mix, a yin-yang, in order for us to experience it through contrast, to eventually reconcile the opposition through mysticism into a sense of cosmic oneness. And I've experienced this cosmic oneness, and it makes me very happy, very secure, and very safe. Because no matter what happens to me, I know I have seen these things that have happened to me, these experiences that are very cosmic and perfect. Reaching out to touch the stone of destiny at Tara in Ireland. My GoPro died as I touched the stone, which often happens with mystical experience. It isn't, technology can't quite approach it. So I touched the stone, my camera went off, unfortunately, because also at the same time, a jet flew over above the cloud. It was a very cloudy, misty, beautiful Irish day. Perfect, misty and rainy, but not too rainy, just a light mist. Beautiful. But it was overcast, right? So this jet flew over, this jumbo jet that filled the whole valley with this roar. When a king of Ireland, as the legend goes, touches the stone, it roars. Now, I'm not saying I'm a king of Ireland, but I feel that the universe appreciates me because I perceive this living presence that reacts symbolically through coincidences and other phenomena that happen that give us a sense that this world is like a dream in some aspects. It's a continuous dream that goes day, night, sleeping, waking, dreaming. But I think the key to mystical experience for myself is the phenomenon of dreams. When our bodies lie dormant, our mind goes on creating symbolic mindscapes that are meaningful and relate to thoughts and emotions of our daily experience, dipping down into that cosmic unconscious that goes all the way from a point on the top of my head to infinity. Now, when I was in college, I was studying art, I was playing music, I was writing. But my professor said to me, one of my wonderful professors, I had many, he said, you're not really a writer. You're not really an artist. You're not really a musician or a singer. You're a mystic. All your writings are mystical. You're a mystic. That's what you are. And that is what I am. Whatever that means, I know there are many existentialists and rationalists out there that laugh at the idea of mysticism as some kind of antiquated, medieval, childish concept. But there's plenty of wisdom to be gained from the myths of the past and from the philosophies of the past, and to just disregard them in view of a more scientific or rational explanation, I think is as foolish as some people think mysticism is. I've tried to show some people this mystical power, and even though it manifested right in front of them, they were blind to it. So I don't usually proselytize or evangelize my beliefs. But for those of you that have subscribed here, all 75 of you in the world, I thought I'd offer this video to you to kind of explain what I'm about. Old Dude Jam Mandala is my folk singing new age preacher persona that performed many concerts over the years, not for adoration or fame or fortune, but for music and for the power of poetry to express those things that need to be expressed, in my opinion. And I wrote 50 songs to express those things, and I enjoy playing them. I'm semi-retired now and mostly do videos here for my channel. I've been pouring myself out for a good many years here on the internet, and I appreciate your appreciation very much, and I hope that this video helps to clarify what I'm about here on this channel. Thanks a lot for listening and for subscribing. I love you, and I really appreciate you. Peace of mind and love of life are the great goals of life, not wealth accumulation or status. And I appreciate those that can appreciate that. So many blessings to you, and thanks for listening. I think that about does it. I hope you enjoy these videos and my other offerings. Look me up on Facebook. Everything's under my name, James Mandolare. I try to be honest about it and not hide behind a pseudonym, as many people do online. So you can look that up, and I'd appreciate that, or any support you might want to lend me. Feel free to contact me, and thank you again. I really appreciate it. Peace and love, of course.